Well, we are rolling with another crazy tub of 90s, I don't know, junk, you could almost say. I mean, still love the stuff, but for value-wise and collectability, this is that mid-90s where everything is going to be worth tons of money and investment, especially those Justin Bendies. So it looks like some of this stuff actually was the toys we had on display in the kitchen. We only like 5 or 6 around the top of the ceiling. And I think a couple of these are definitely those. So right off the bat, we have the Bendums, which, you know, God bless this company, Just Toys. They actually provided the Star Wars toys before Power of the Force 2 Kenner came out. There was like that mid where all the Kenner stuff's been long gone, discount. There's no Power of the Force 2. There's not even like rumblings of the episode 1 coming out or anything like that. And they produced Bendum Star Wars. And it was just that nice, refreshing moment where you're like, oh my God, Star Wars toys. So 93, we're right around that zone where Power of the Force 2 was crawling in. But, you know, these are lovely. I mean, they do have that charm where I want to keep them, but do you want to keep the world, right? So again, these are like $5 each. It's nice, but this pea-colored yellow bubble, not too exciting. We have Hercules. This is Xena 2. Beautifully done line. No love, strangely enough, is it? Here's the dust. If you never need to clone me, you can buy this. But yeah, great line. Hercules and Lucy Lawless. Yeah, absolutely Hercules. Xena, fantastic fun shows when you're growing up. I got to meet Kevin Sorbo at a signing at a local theater once. Very nice person. I have a couple of the Hercules toys, of course, signed. Yay. Honestly, I don't have like the entire Hercules or Xena line carded, but it would be nice to obviously keep a couple of the key fun characters. We have Princess Leia in a clear bubble, so we'll snag and keep her. $5. And of course, Voltron. Gosh, Trendmasters. They did a very decent job for what they had. That $3 on sale from clearance. This is towards the end. I think yep. There's Hagar, the battle armor outfit. So this is like a final series figure. I don't think the market's ever jumped heavily on this. It's like in that time of the third dimension. So maybe 25, 30 probably. I could be off, could be less actually. It's not a focused line. I mean, everybody likes Voltron. Everyone loves the pilots. Everyone likes the villains. But it's just, maybe it's because of the posability, how it was designed and detailed is not how we remember them in the show pretty much. But still, it's a fantastic piece. And again, I like this line, you know, but I never bought a ton of it. So this is probably like one of 4 carded figures I'll have. And I probably didn't have that many loose ones because at that time, you're not a kid, but you're collecting, but it wasn't like your jam. The jam was the original stuff. So, you know, it's just fun things to have a sample of. And and I say that there's more already underneath it. So we have, hell yeah, Captain Keith. And these are much tougher. That's the Stealth Voltron, which looked like absolute dog doo-doo. And wow. I mean, the figures look great, of course, but when they went to Stealth Voltron, that was raw garbage. You just took the charm and the beautiful excellence, details, just everything out of the original lines and killed it and made it into a 90s stealth concept because everything was all about stealth. Yeah, it looked absolutely terrible. And the people involved in the TV show that designed that should have just been taken out back and fed into a giant pack of raccoons that have been starving for 3 months because terrible idea. Granted, at that point, the show was already like kind of its last doggy legs or lion legs, as you could say. You have a Pidge, same thing. That's fine. Not big money. I think people are asking big money for those, but I don't think so. We have another Domino. Remember I told you how like Domino and a lot of other characters are just out there in number. Greatly designed, but they just ended up being the peg warmers and are still out there carded. This one's better than the last one condition-wise, so that's pretty good. Put that in the pile. Here's our Prime that I bought as a kid, probably, or a comic book show. Same thing, the dust. These are all on top of the kitchen. I read the comics. I remember getting a lot of Mantra comics and Freaks and Exiles, but I can let it go. It's just one of those things. It's like take $10. This, though, was the one I always like walked in the room and looked at all the time, hence more dust bunnies on this puppy. the original Buzz Lightyear. So I'm going to keep that one just because the happier memories. Probably about 25, 30. What do we have here? We have uncovered raw evil of the 90s. And my God, this tub is not worth as much as the tub itself is worth. So let's go to the right. We got our die-cast Rogue and Pyro. I mean, I know they're metal. They're beautifully painted, actually, for metal figures. I mean, take a look at the Rogue. The eyes are painted. Pyro's so colorful. I'm going to keep it. You know, this is just absolutely great stuff. I want to keep at least the earliest X-Men. That's, again, my jam for toy business. When you get the more creative battle armor and stuff like that, I don't get as excited. Here's our black card enemy. The red version still actually runs a little bit of money, but the black one, I think my brother found this at the store in Toys R Us. We were all excited, you know, because you do the peg. Just, oh my God, there's a black one. Oh my God. It's going to be worth so much money in the future. I didn't remember the character, but I will say that he was pretty damn cool, this character design. Stumpy obviously loved their Giger and decided to go with it. This little skull there, I didn't remember. That's awesome, actually. Again, like $10 carded. Get a regular one. Get a regular one, loose, open mint for $3. I mean, if you like it, you don't need everything packaged. Speaking of which, I really loved Lost in Space, the movie, because, you know, I'm not mentally well. So I actually have a lot of fun little side props from the movie here and there. Nothing super magnificent. I don't have any of the package stuff, really, but I just kept the figures because that was the focus was. I have the whole team. If you guys did not know, yes, Penny actually was sculpted, plus the mother, and was dropped before the line continued. And it was probably just going to be a one-off thing. It's a movie, so they're not going to have, like, a second series, most likely. There's no TV show to continue it on. But I did pick up both hard copies, hand-painted for Penny and an unpainted of the mother, which was just going to use the Judy Robinson body again. But I really did enjoy the movie. And to keep, oh my God, that is not a good sculpt of him. That is absolutely terrible. And I don't know, man. These are actually terrible facial sculpts. There's Blarp. I literally have the whole set carded. And I think the resale value on this might be about $10. I'll figure my position on that shortly. I don't know, man. Oh my God. I know this tub's not going to be like a power tub for a lot of you guys out there, but for me, it's the memories. So my brother was sick. We would go to Canada and we went to a Toys R Us. So this actually will be a good story for everybody. So if you guys are unaware, Canada is behind the times, just in general, forever. But for this story, they're behind the times. So we went, my mom and my brother, we went traveling to various toy stores in Toronto area. We went to like Silver Snail. There's a place called Pack Rats. We're like, it's like literally the year 2000, and we're waiting for the Y2K virus to blow up. So we hit all these collectible toy stores, and we found some amazing stuff. One guy had Spinnerella She-Ra figures, and Spinnerella was Canada only technically. He didn't have her, but he had all the accessories for Spinnerella on different characters for $5 each. I remember buying that when nobody knew about that. God, it was a wild time. One guy's store, which doesn't even exist, probably it's been 20 plus years. He was like a hole in a wall in the middle of nowhere. You know, no eBay, no internet advertising. And I was talking to him like, "Did you have a humanoid from Black Hole?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, we had one recently." You know, probably sold for like $100. It's just, God, those are the glory days. So anyways, Toys R Us. We went to Toys R Us, probably in Hamilton or Toronto, and they still had vintage toys on clearance, and nobody gave a rat's butt. So we're talking an end cap completely full of the black and gold Megazords. There was only one regular colored Megazord from the original Mighty Morphin Power Ranger series stuck in this giant end cap of like 30 of them. And they're all like $20 each. I remember it wasn't killer stuff, to be honest with you. Like Thundercat miniature PVC weapon accessory pack, still carded for like $2 each, like 20 of them. The Rock Lord's pot rock vehicle was up in the front, like a little island area, and they had like 7 of them for $5 each packaged. I mean, it wasn't like the world being offered to you, but there was a lot of vintage stuff just chilling. So one of the things I noticed was the Ninja Turtles Newswagon with April O'Neil in green, and I was like, I got to get that. That was $10, and they had like 15 of them still sealed. I dragged that thing all the way back to Chicago. But this was cool too, because I knew at the time for collecting Star Trek that this was a variant of the Deep Space Nine character, which I was watching, Deep Space Nine, we're all Niners, and it was on a Star Trek Next Generation card with a POG, which is, we had a trading card in the US, so I knew this was good stuff to get. And the market's kind of there, I guess like 50 to 100. I sold the rest of them, and I kept the Bashir, it looks like. And I kept Dax, hell yeah, I got 2 of them I kept. So I sold at least 2 or 3, it, made my money back. And Star Trek, it's just, man, this toy line is still beloved. They did a fantastic job. It's just Trekkies don't pay money into this stuff. That's just the way it is, man. And the more you handle them, the more you start liking them a lot more than you should, because you love your Star Trek. And then you're like, should I even let any of this stuff go? The answer is yeah. I don't need everybody, and I would not mind. Same thing comes down to loose. Everything packaged here is the bio card and the same package generically over and over again. So I'm okay with like letting about half of this go for sure, maybe more than that. Yeah, it's okay. And there's just, so there you go. That's a tougher Deep Space Nine right there. I don't know if that one runs now. That might be like 15, 20. But in general, yeah, I'm going to keep just a couple, bounce out the rest, because if I ever wanted them back, they're always available for $5 each. So that's cool. That was a little bit of a long video. Let me see if I can get a quick one in for you, some more killer vintage stuff.